The jungle planet was alive in every sense, vibrant, noisy, and utterly indifferent to the small band of humans threading their way through the thick undergrowth. Captain Riker Thorne led the team, his eyes sharp, senses stretched. The dense canopy above filtered weak sunlight in jagged shards, and every rustle, every distant snap of a twig, set nerves on edge. "We're close to the extraction point," Riker murmured into his comm, his voice low but steady. "Keep your eyes open." His squad moved with practiced precision, but Riker knew they were walking into a trap. The Predarii hunters were masters of this terrain, silent, merciless, patient. They thrived in the jungle's chaos, where technology often failed and raw instinct ruled. Suddenly, a sharp crack echoed nearby. Riker's head snapped toward the sound. The squad froze, then a volley of plasma bolts tore through the foliage. Screams erupted. His team was under attack. "Ambush! Spread out!" Riker barked, diving behind a fallen log. Bullets hissed past, carving into the thick bark and soil. He caught sight of Vakthar, the Predarii leader, emerging from the shadows. The alien's form was a terrifying blend of sleek armor and sinewy muscle, eyes glowing cold and calculating. Vakthar moved with predatory grace, scanning for prey. Riker's heart hammered, but his mind stayed sharp. "Fall back! Regroup at Point Delta!" he ordered, firing in controlled bursts. The team scrambled, but the Predarii had anticipated every move. One by one, Riker's teammates fell, silent, brutal deaths that carved emptiness in his chest. He reached a narrow ravine and leapt down, rolling to break his fall. Alone now. Pain stabbed his side where a plasma bolt grazed him, but adrenaline numbed the sting. Riker crawled through thick vines, breath ragged. The jungle seemed to close around him, hiding unseen dangers. He tried to contact command. Static answered. The hunters had blocked all transmissions. "They want to isolate me," he muttered. He slung his rifle, eyes darting. Every shadow could hide a deadly foe. The jungle's noise became a chaotic symphony, the calls of alien birds, the rustling of leaves, the distant roar of predators. Riker's training kicked in. He slowed his breathing, listening. Footsteps. Heavy, deliberate. The hunters were closing in. He ducked into a cluster of ferns, heart pounding, muscles tense. A voice crackled in his earpiece. It was Vakthar, smooth and mocking. "Captain Thorne, your hunt has begun. You cannot outrun us." Riker smiled grimly. "You're about to learn humans don't run, they fight." The hunters advanced, confident in their dominance, but Riker refused to be prey. He gathered stones, snapped branches, and fashioned traps with swift hands. He set a makeshift tripwire, then melted into the shadows. The jungle shifted, silent now except for the soft snap of a hunter caught in his trap. A sharp hiss, then silence. Riker moved, careful and silent, seizing the moment. He disarmed the fallen hunter, taking a compact energy blade. His pulse quickened, not just fear, but exhilaration. "I'm still here," he whispered. "Still breathing." Hours passed in this deadly dance, a blur of shadows and whispers. Riker's body ached, but his mind sharpened. Each trap, each feint wore down the hunter's confidence. Vakthar's voice returned over the calm, colder now. "You delay the inevitable, human. Surrender." Riker's laugh echoed through the foliage, raw and defiant. "Surrender isn't in my nature." As night fell, the jungle's dangers multiplied. Strange eyes gleamed in the dark, and unfamiliar cries pierced the air. Riker found shelter in the hollow of a giant tree, tending his wounds with stolen medical supplies. He paused, fingers trembling as he loaded a new clip. Memories of his team flooded his mind, their faces, their last words. Pain and anger fueled his resolve. "If I'm the last, then I fight for all of us," he said softly. "They'll know what it means to face a human." Outside, the jungle hummed with life and death. Riker Thorne was alone, hunted, but far from broken. This was just the beginning. The jungle never ceased its relentless assault on Riker's senses, thick humidity clinging to his skin, insects buzzing with maddening persistence, and an endless maze of green that twisted and turned without mercy. Every step was a calculated risk, every breath a battle against the oppressive heat and the sharp scent of decay. Riker moved like a ghost, careful and deliberate. His body, slick with sweat and dirt, was a weapon finely tuned by years of combat. He had one goal: survive. But survival in this place meant more than just hiding. It meant outthinking the hunters, creatures bred and trained to track, trap, and kill. His traps had slowed the Praedarii but not stopped them. He glanced at a snare rigged to snap around a wrist, recently triggered. A small victory. But Vakthar was relentless, sending scouts to flush him out. Riker crouched behind a moss-covered boulder, eyes fixed on faint movement ahead. He held his breath, counting the seconds. 2 Praedarii hunters emerged, their armored forms blending perfectly with the jungle's shadows. They communicated with a series of clicks and guttural tones, efficient and cold. Riker recognized their arrogance, the kind bred from years of easy victories. He shifted slightly, triggering a camouflage noisemaker. The hunters snapped to attention, weapons raised. Too easy, Riker thought. Suddenly, one hunter lunged forward, a blade flashing through the thick air. Riker sidestepped, grabbing a vine and yanking it taut. The predator stumbled, caught by the trap he'd set earlier. The second hunter roared in anger and charged. Riker dodged low, slashing with the energy blade he'd scavenged. The blade bit into thick armor, sparks flying. The hunter staggered, snarling as Riker slipped away into the underbrush. From the shadows, a voice crackled through Riker's calm, the unmistakable tone of Vakthar. You cling to life with pathetic stubbornness, human. Why prolong the inevitable? Riker's eyes gleamed in the dim light. Because giving up is for the dead. He ducked behind a tree as the hunters regrouped. His heart pounded, fatigue gnawed at him, but his spirit flared hotter than ever. As night deepened, Riker moved to higher ground, climbing a rocky ledge to survey the terrain. Below, the jungle stretched endlessly, a tangle of trees, rivers, and unseen dangers. Memories flooded back, brief images of his fallen comrades, their faces twisted in pain or courage. The weight of loss settled heavy, but Riker pushed it down. He was alone, yes, but still fighting. He dug a shallow trench beside a narrow stream, laying low, then fished out a small scanner from his pack. The device flickered weakly, detecting faint energy signatures. The hunter's tech was advanced but not infallible. Riker smiled thinly. Not invincible. Movement caught his eye, something large, lurking just beyond the trees. He held his breath, muscles coiled like a spring. Then, a low growl rumbled through the air. Praedarii beasts. Not hunters, but their savage hunting animals. The creatures prowled with predatory instinct, sensing the tension between man and alien. Riker slipped away, weaving through the undergrowth, careful not to draw attention. He found a small clearing and paused. His fingers worked quickly, assembling another trap, a snare designed to disable, not kill. He had no intention of making this hunt easy for Vakthar. Suddenly, footsteps approached. Riker froze, blending into the shadows. Vakthar emerged, alone this time, eyes sharp and calculating. His armor bore fresh scratches, proof the hunt was turning into a war of attrition. You're clever, Vakthar admitted, voice cold but with a grudging respect. But cleverness won't save you. Riker met his gaze steadily. Maybe. But it might just kill you first. Vakthar's lips curled into a cruel smile. We shall see. They circled, predator to predator, each measuring the other. Riker noticed subtle movements, the slight tension in Vakthar's shoulders, the quick scan of the eyes. This wasn't just a hunt, it was a test of wills. Without warning, Vakthar lunged. Riker dodged, planting a quick jab with the energy blade that grazed the alien's side. The move was calculated, to injure, not kill, to provoke. Vakthar hissed and retreated into the jungle, disappearing as swiftly as he had come. Riker exhaled slowly, feeling the surge of adrenaline ebb. The encounter left a mark, proof that neither side would yield easily. That night, as the jungle settled into uneasy quiet, Riker huddled beneath a canopy of leaves, tending to a shallow wound on his arm. His hands moved methodically, but his mind raced. He knew the hunters were adapting. His traps were expected, his tactics anticipated. The game was changing. A soft beep interrupted his thoughts, a faint signal from his scanner. New energy signatures not far off. Riker's eyes narrowed. They're closing in. His fingers traced the contours of a small pendant, a keepsake from his team. A reminder of why he fought. Not just for me, he whispered. For all of us. Dawn broke with a violent chorus of alien cries. Riker packed his gear swiftly, moving out before the hunters could regroup. His every step was a calculation, each breath a wager against death. This wasn't just survival anymore. It was a battle of minds and instincts, a deadly chess match beneath the endless canopy. And Riker Thorne was ready to play. The jungle's thick humidity pressed down like a weight, but Riker Thorne welcomed the pressure. It meant he was still alive, still breathing in this alien wilderness that refused to yield. His limbs ached with the strain of days spent running, hiding, fighting, but exhaustion was a luxury he couldn't afford. Not now. His senses sharpened as he navigated the tangled undergrowth. Every leaf, every snapped twig told a story. He had learned to read the jungle's language, to anticipate its moods and movements. The hunters were closing in, their relentless pursuit growing more desperate, and that meant they were vulnerable. Ahead, the dense green gave way to something older, more unnatural, the crumbling ruins of a civilization long vanished. Towering stone pillars, carved with strange symbols, rose from the jungle floor. The air here was cooler, heavy with the scent of moss and ancient stone. Riker approached cautiously. These ruins could hold answers, or traps. He crouched low, scanning the area. His scanner picked up faint energy signatures embedded in the crumbled walls. Technology, yes, but archaic, far beyond anything the Predarii or humans had seen. A spark of hope lit within him. This could change everything, he muttered, fingers brushing the symbols. As he explored, Riker uncovered a sealed chamber. His fingers worked at the panel beside the entrance, trying to decipher its mechanisms. Minutes stretched, then a soft hiss. The door slid open, revealing a room lined with dormant devices. He stepped inside, heart pounding. Among the relics, he found weaponry and armor pieces, battered but functional. Riker scavenged what he could, slipping on a reinforced vest that fit surprisingly well, and picking up a compact energy pulse pistol, silent and deadly. This planet just gave me a fighting chance, he said, loading the pistol with a steady hand. Outside, the jungle murmured with life, and approaching footsteps. Riker melted into the shadows as Vakthar and his hunting party emerged, scanning the ruins with frustration. You hide behind stones, human, Vakthar growled. But even these ruins cannot protect you forever. Riker's smile was a ghost in the dark. Maybe not. But they're enough to change the game. The hunters split, combing the area with calculated precision. Riker's new equipment gave him confidence, but caution remained his guide. He waited, patience sharpened to a razor's edge. The first hunter stumbled into his trap, a concealed pit covered by foliage. The creature fell with a grunt, caught and helpless. A well-aimed pulse shot silenced it before it could scream. One down. The remaining hunters snarled, closing ranks. Vakthar's voice crackled in Riker's calm. You have grown bold. Foolish. Bold, yes, but necessary. Riker's traps grew more sophisticated. He hacked into the ruins' control panels, activating ancient defense systems, walls that shifted, energy barriers that flared to life. The jungle itself became an ally, a maze reconfigured to his advantage. During a tense standoff, Riker's voice echoed over the calm. You think this is my weakness? It's my strength. Vakthar hissed, rage sharpening his tone. You will regret this insolence. The hunters pressed forward, but Riker struck from the shadows. Silent shots, disabling energy pulses, traps sprung with lethal precision. Each victory chipped away at their confidence. In a rare moment, Riker paused beside a weathered statue, an ancient figure carved in the shape of a warrior. He touched the stone, drawing strength from the silent testament to survival across millennia. Humans don't just endure, he whispered. We adapt. We overcome. His mind flashed back to his fallen team, how they had fought beside him, how their spirit lived on in his fight. Night fell again, the jungle thick with the cries of unseen predators. Riker's laughter broke the darkness, low, victorious, echoing through the ruins. Vakthar's response was sharp and grudging. Your defiance is noted, but it will not save you. Riker grinned, reloading his pistol. Neither will your arrogance. The hunters were losing their grip on the hunt. Their once unshakable confidence now tinged with doubt. Riker's transformation from hunted to hunter unsettled them. He moved with purpose now, no longer fleeing but controlling the battlefield. The ruins became his fortress, the jungle his weapon. Vakthar's voice came again, colder and more calculating. This game is not over, human. Soon you will face me. Riker's eyes gleamed with fierce determination. I'm ready. Because now, the hunter had become the hunted. The jungle was silent, holding its breath as if the entire world waited for what was about to unfold. Riker Thorne crouched in the shadows of the ancient ruins, muscles coiled like a predator ready to strike. Every sense was sharpened, every nerve alight with anticipation. This was the final act, the moment he had fought for since the ambush. The moment where survival would turn into victory. He could hear the soft footfalls of Vakthar's approach, the heavy tread of the Praedarii warrior confident in his inevitable triumph. Riker's pulse didn't quicken with fear but steadied with calm resolve. This wasn't just a hunt anymore, it was a reckoning. Vakthar emerged from the dense foliage, his armor scratched and battered, his eyes burning with cold fury. The alien's gaze locked with Riker's, and for a heartbeat, the jungle fell into a fragile stillness. You have made this difficult, human, Vakthar said, voice low but dripping with menace. But you cannot escape your fate. Riker smiled, the curve of his lips a silent challenge. Maybe I can't escape it. But I'm here to change what that fate looks like. Without warning, Vakthar charged, his movements fluid and brutal. Riker sprang to his feet, sidestepping with the precision of a seasoned fighter. The energy-pulse pistol was ready, but close quarters demanded steel. He drew his blade, its hum slicing through the humid air. They collided in a blur, metal against muscle, skill against instinct. Vakthar's strikes were powerful, designed to end quickly and decisively. Riker's defense was calculated, each parry buying time, each dodge testing the alien's reach. The fight shifted deeper into the ruins, their footsteps echoing on cracked stone floors. Riker used the terrain to his advantage, weaving between pillars, ducking under collapsed arches, forcing Vakthar to adapt. Suddenly, Riker feinted left and delivered a swift strike to Vakthar's side. The alien hissed, the first clear sign of pain. You are more than a mere prey, Vakthar admitted grudgingly. But not enough to win. Riker's grin was sharp, eyes burning with fierce defiance. I'm not here to win. I'm here to survive. And tonight that means you fall. They clashed again, the sound of their weapons ringing through the hollow chamber. Vakthar swung a brutal overhead strike. Riker blocked and countered with a quick jab to the neck. Sparks flew as metal met reinforced alien armor. Breathing hard, Vakthar retreated a step. Your arrogance will be your undoing. Maybe. But it's kept me alive this long. Riker seized the moment, activating a hidden mechanism he'd discovered earlier, a trap within the ruins. Stone walls shifted, closing in on Vakthar's flanks. The Praedarii snarled, realizing the trap too late. Pinned, Vakthar roared in frustration, his hands pounding the stone like a caged beast. Riker stepped forward, blade gleaming. This ends now. Vakthar's eyes flickered with a dangerous spark. If I fall, others will come. The hunt never ends. Riker's voice dropped to a fierce whisper. Then they'll find a new legend. One who doesn't run. With a swift motion, Riker delivered the final strike. Vakthar collapsed, the cold silence of defeat settling over the chamber. Riker stood over the fallen hunter, chest heaving. He raised his head, letting out a laugh, raw, triumphant, echoing through the jungle like a declaration. His calm crackled to life. Galactic Union operatives, finally able to receive his signal. Captain Thorne, do you copy? Status? Riker wiped sweat and grime from his brow, voice steady. I'm alive. The hunters are dead. Humanity's still standing. The response was a chorus of relief and awe. As dawn broke, spilling golden light over the ruins, Riker looked out over the jungle. The weight of loss still lingered, but beneath it, a fierce pride burned. He had fought alone, faced impossible odds, and emerged victorious. The jungle whispered around him, but his laughter lingered, an echo of defiance and the unyielding spirit of a human who refused to be hunted.